What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with Henry Wilson. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Game Day Live Show. Today, we are taking a look at the 11-game DraftKings Main Slate. But also, more importantly, it is MLB Trade Deadline Day. We've had some wild moves across the league. Nothing that is particularly impacting the slate yet. Some hitters have swapped teams, but we weren't really looking necessarily to target a Paul DeJong here, this evening. But, so we'll see if any major movement happens. Of course, last night, James and I recorded the preview show, and we opened up being like, all right, we're recording here. It's Monday night. The deadline's Tuesday. A lot of things could happen between now and then. Boom. As soon as we hit done, we see Frankie Montas get traded. We see Jorge Soler get traded, which we had Soler in our example lineup. We talked stacking against Montas in Cincinnati, and the whole preview show went to hell. So we appreciate you all tuning in here today. If you have any comments on the MLB trade deadline, any questions, you can certainly throw them in the chat here. Henry and I are happy to answer those, but we are looking at tonight's DraftKings Main Slate. Henry was the guy on the playbook, so you can find that live over at fantasyalarm.com right now. And of course, if we get any breaking trade news, we will bring that to the forefront and discuss it. Henry, let's kick it off at the pitcher position here today. Tyler Glasnow is $10,000. He's your top priced starting pitcher. Luis Castillo, Hunter Brown round out the 9K tier. What were your overall thoughts when it came to spending up at starting pitching here tonight?
Yeah, it's a little interesting because these are some really talented guys in spots that kind of have some question marks. I can see merits for all of them. Obviously, Tyler Glasnow's amazing, but he's kind of been struggling lately. And Padres are a tough team that doesn't strike out a lot. I love Luis Castillo's talent. He's kind of been turning things around, but also Boston is really good against right-handers. So there's a lot of question marks around him. My favorite is Luis Castillo. Obviously, you can't go wrong with Glasnow either, but even being in Fenway against this lefty-heavy Boston lineup, they still strike out plenty, and I just believe in Castillo's talent enough to be able to suppress them and get plenty of strikeouts. And if I'm paying up, he is my favorite here at the top.
Yeah, for sure. Because this trade deadline, I feel obligated to mention anything that happens across. John Morosi of the MLB is reporting that Roman Anthony has just been scratched from the Portland lineup for Boston. So, we will. He is obviously a top 20 prospect. We'll see if the Red Sox are maybe they're making the Garrett Crochet play or the Jack Flaherty play because they have been rumored and linked to those pitchers there. So we'll come through and get it. I don't mind obviously the matchups at the top. For me, I think Hunter Brown was really the guy I was kind of largely targeting. Been fantastic, really. Over the second half of his season so far. Last 12 starts, only 2 of those 12 starts. Is he allowed more than 2 earned runs? You have Pittsburgh here on the road. Their lineup against right-handed pitching, bottom 3 in the league across almost every metric here. So for me, Hunter Brown, for sure, a core play at 9K. Working our way to the mid-tier, I think it gets interesting given some of the matchup, some of the name value at least on the slate. Where are you looking to go?
Yeah, again, I think a lot of viable options here. I don't mind Justin Steele here against Cincinnati. Can struggle a little bit against lefties. Scherzer obviously has been pitching pretty well against the Cardinals, but why not go back to our boy Robbie Ray in his second start, who just put up a great start against the Dodgers his first outing. We always know guys coming back from Tommy John can kind of struggle with command, and sure enough, first inning, he walks 2 guys, he hits 2 batters. It's like, okay, here we go. And then he just locks things down. 5 hitless innings, striking out 8 against the Dodgers. He looked awesome. Obviously, we don't know what kind of shakiness he might still have going forward. It might not be this great coming back from Tommy John. He might run into some hiccups. But, man, if he can come back and do this to the Dodgers lineup, he now gets to face Oakland in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I'm taking the shot.
Yeah, the one run he allowed was all self-inflicted. Walked 2, hit 2 in that first inning. And then basically shut them down after that. 86 pitches in the debut, which to me indicates that there's probably no real pitch count going into start 2 here. Maybe it's 95. They probably won't let him go 110. Obviously the one thing that Grande pointed out in the morning show is just, of course, how good the Oakland A's have been lately, particularly over the last couple of weeks here against left-handed pitching. Not the same A's team that began the year where they were always hitting for power, right? We always saw them and they were up there with the isolated power numbers against left-handed pitching. But, overall for them over the last month, third in WOBA at 381, almost a 900 OPS, a 247 ISO, a 280 batting average. Still strike out a lot against lefties, 23%. But, the question here really is, what is the reality of the situation? Are the A's going to continue to be the best offense in baseball, or is Robbie Ray going to go and just kind of assert his dominance like he did against a fully loaded Dodgers team that had Freeman and Ohtani and Teoscar and that whole crew there, and he shut them down? So I'm with you. I'm buying in Robbie Ray here. $8,200, a great price point. Michael Wacha was the other one where I was kind of leaning to. Again, the pitcher's fine, but the White Sox lineup just keeps kind of getting worse and worse. So sure, why not? They're big favorites tonight. I don't love paying $8,700 for him necessarily, but again, he should be in a good spot to pick up the win here. Where else are you looking at pitching today?
I think there's actually some interesting cheap options here today too. Give some shout outs to, I think, the Warrenson looking into Cal Quantrill against the Angels, who's been pitching pretty well recently. I also think the other side of that, Griffin Canning, I know it's Griffin Canning, but it's Rocky Road. I mean, he just had a decent outing against the Mariners, and Rocky is on the road. You can always attack. I think that there's some reasonable options there. But my favorite is actually even cheaper than both those guys, and that's Ryan Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why he's like this crazy cheap. I know he hasn't been great this season. He's coming off a pretty rough outing against the Royals, but look at the couple starts before that. 9 strikeouts against the Cubs, and before that, 2 straight quality starts against the Padres and the Blue Jays.
Yeah,
with 5 strikeouts each against teams that don't strike out a lot. So now here against Washington, a much easier matchup than the Royals. I don't see why he couldn't put together another solid outing like he had done several starts in a row for $6,300. It just seems super cheap.
Yeah, I did the sleeper picks MLB plays today over on Fantasyland. We can find that over there. You can sign up promo code Vault3, get a deposit match over at fantasyland.com/sleeper. I took the under 2.5 earned runs for Ryan Nelson here today. Yeah. Again, Washington's offense taking some hits. Lane Thomas traded, Jesse Winker traded. An offense that has kind of historically hit better against lefties than righties. Yeah, they got CJ Abrams up at the top of that lineup, but really taking a blow what it feels like on the rest of that team here. So I'm kind of with you. The other thing that I like, Ryan Nelson does not give up home runs. So if you're going to beat Ryan Nelson, you're beating him basically by stringing hits together. And I just don't know, if Washington is going to be able to do that. Now, again, Ryan Nelson hasn't been a great pitcher. If you go look at his sabermetric stats, they're not really much better than what he's pitched at, so there's nothing here's a spot. You're just kind of looking at some recent outings against some much better offenses, and you're like, dude, he faced the Dodgers in LA and gave up 1 run over 5. Let's ride, So I'm with you there. I like the Ryan Nelson call, and I was laughing because we did spend probably too much time last night talking Griffin Canning, Ryan Nelson on this show, and we're like, I don't really feel too great about that. But yeah, I'm with you. I think those are 2 obvious value plays here tonight. I liked the Cal Quantrill call just because of given the Angels, overall struggles, and they might be trading Rengifo and Ward were both rumored today as possibly guys out the door, which would obviously significantly hurt that lineup here. So I'm definitely with you on that. We appreciate you guys all tuning in. Pod Degen Stoner in there. Bong Rip season continues from the Garden City in Colorado. Stacks in the chat saying big rip. We love that. And Pod saying it's Fiesta Day. Is that because you're in on Festa or stacking against Festa? That's what I got to get an answer for you there as they go up against the Mets here today. Let's go on over to the catcher position. Where are we looking to start things off here?
Pretty normal day for me. If I don't love a ton at the top end, don't want to spend up a lot. I think if I am going to be on the top end, it's just going to be like Yanyer Diaz batting 4th against Bailey Falter, for 4,300. I think, Astros should line up pretty good against Bailey Falter, so I like that play. But I think the number one guy I'm going after is Gabriel Moreno, who I like against lefties, and I love the Diamondbacks against Patrick Corbin because we love to stack against Patrick Corbin. So he's probably my favorite catcher of the day.
Yeah, we were obviously in on this game last night. We game stacked it last night. It was kind of looking iffy for a bit, and then all the runs kind of came there overall at the end. Definitely in on going up against Patrick Corbin. Pod saying it's Fiesta Day. Well, for years it's been Patrick Corbin Day. for us here as well. Our guy Don in the chat saying what's up as well. So happy to have you in with us again. If you guys have any questions, feel free to toss them in the chat. If you could also do us a favor, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. It's a free way to support the work we do here over at Fantasy Alarm. If you're not yet a member of the Fantasy Alarm family, right now is certainly the best time to take advantage of our Let's Go offer. FantasyAlarm.com/win, promo code Let's Go. You get that first month for less than $20, and that all-pro access gives you our fantasy football draft guide and fantasy football cheat sheet for free. Sign up now, get the month for $20, and take advantage of all of our premium content and go dominate your fantasy football drafts. Again, FantasyAlarm.com/win, promo code Let's Go. All right, other catchers. Gabriel Moreno certainly in there. I don't mind going Mitch Garver here. Again, I was not in on Seattle last night against Pivetta. Definitely more so in on Seattle tonight against James Paxton here. Garver at $3,600, I think, is an interesting spot.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Someone commented Raleigh too. Obviously, he's a little more expensive, but yeah, Cal Raleigh batting third against James Paxton. I don't hate it. Obviously, don't love paying up that much for catcher as often, but
right.
He provides some power. It's in Fenway. Who knows what Paxton's going to be able to do? So absolutely. Then I'll throw out is Freddie Furman. I really like the Royals today too, going against the White Sox and Jonathan Cannon.
Yep.
So he's just been providing some solid power there at catcher, and is a pretty good cheap option.
Yeah, Furman, and I didn't mind the Christian Vasquez punt as well at 3K against Shamanaya. Vasquez had a little bit of a run there. And we'll see as more official lineups come out here what we got going on. Brian De La Cruz traded to the Pirates. So stacks there with his Pirates logo. You're getting a power hitting outfielder there, sir, in your on your team there. So that Pirates on this slate. So Hunter Brown, your life is getting or sorry, not the Marlins are not on this slate, so we don't have to really worry about that one. I was gonna say Hunter Brown not having to deal with Brian De La Cruz quite yet there. So all right, first base. Up at the top we have Ohtani. Then we got Pete Alonso, Matt Olson is maybe coming around a little bit. If you're looking to spend up, who are some of the core plays here?
Yeah, obviously Pete Alonso has been hitting the ball well recently. Matt Olson too. I think the Braves here going against Joe Ross's return from the IL are a decent look also. But my favorite is probably going back to the Royals here, and Vinny P going against Jonathan Cannon. I really like the Royal stack. He's been producing well. The power hasn't really been there. He's kind of in a homer shortage.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he doesn't need it to produce a lot of value. He just keeps stacking up hits, hitting behind Bobby Witt Jr., who is obviously just lighting the world on fire right now. So I like this price in this matchup for Vinny Pasquantino.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I agree. I wish there was some more power behind it all, but I'll take the batting average. I'll take him getting on base, and there's certainly some opportunities to continue to drive in runs. Our guy, Mr. Polo Cash, popping in here, wants our favorite SP2. We'll build a lineup here at the end of the show. We did talk about some of our favorite mid guys there. Robbie Ray obviously was one guy. It all depends on who your SP1 is. I like Hunter Brown, Robbie Ray, and we talked some values today. So you can go either rewind and check out the beginning of the show, or hang with us here till the end. Again, we build an example lineup for all of those of you who are new to tuning in. Warren wants to know thoughts on the Rangers tonight. Nate Lowe versus Lance Lynn. Josh Jung in the lineup for the Rangers here tonight. I think he's hitting 6th or 7th. He's kind of in the second half of that lineup. You got Nathaniel Lowe here against Lance Lynn. I'm in on the Rangers here tonight, getting that lineup back together.
Yeah, absolutely. Lowe's definitely one of my favorite cheaper first base plays. Like the Rangers going against Lynn, and Lowe's just been awesome. He continues to be great. He hit a homer yesterday. We see still over 1,000 OPS in his last 10 games. He just continues to produce at this really cheap price. So he's definitely one of my favorite cheap plays here.
Yeah, for sure. I also liked Michael Busch last night when it was Frankie Montas. Obviously, they have a different pitcher going in now, but I'm still good. Lefty, power bat in Cincinnati. Busch works for me here, even with some of his recent slumps there. What else you got for us?
How about Nolan Schanuel? He batting leadoff, just crushing it lately. Last few games, he got a couple homers, a couple multi-hit games. Bat's kind of coming around for him. So batting leadoff against Cal Quantrill, obviously, gave a little nod to Quantrill against this Angels lineup that is likely getting much worse. But for 3,500, Schanuel's on a bit of a hot streak.
Yeah, for sure. And then I'm always willing. I'm in on Boston here tonight. I took the over, actually, the over on underdog. You get the spicy play, you get the boosted payout. I took over 3.5 earned runs today for Castillo. Lefties are giving Castillo some trouble. And 5 of the first 6 hitters for the Red Sox tonight, all from the left side of the plate. So if you're buying into some Boston stacks here, no homerisms, but I like Dom Smith at $3,200 there as well. Sean Penny popping in, saying we got Justin Turner returning to Fenway for the Mariners, hitting cleanup. Could see that. Could see Turner's hit lefty as well. So if you're in on that, is Turner first base eligible or just third base eligible? Third base only, 3,200 hitting cleanup. We'll touch on that as we move across. Second base, Ketel Marte and Jose Altuve, obviously, in some great spots.
Yeah, 100%. Both in great spots. Ketel Marte was the cover of my playbook today. I mean, come on. It's Patrick Corbin that we always stack against, and I'm always playing Ketel Marte against a lefty, too, no matter who it is. The dude just crushes lefties. He's having a fantastic season. 5,500 is obviously like a lot for your top price second baseman, but it's not like a crazy amount that you can't fit him into these lineups. No. And dude's just amazing.
Especially since we're not really going all like there's no like high 10K. Like you want to use Glass now, that's fine, but you don't have to. So like you have the extra money tonight, totally. To spend around where depending on where you want to go, and there's definitely some value here. So either of the top 2 guys I think are fine. Falter, Corbin, lefty pitchers, Marte, Altuve, lefty mashers. So good going there. Willie Castro is another guy that hits lefties pretty well. $4,700 continues to feel a bit steep for him, but if you're in on the Minnesota Twins tonight, there would certainly be a matchup possibly to target. Where else are you looking when it comes to the mid-tier here?
Yeah, I think there's some good low 4K guys. Obviously, Jonathan India leading off. Justin Steele's a tough matchup, but he hits lefties well. And then I also like the guy right below him, Michael Massey. Obviously, already talked about liking the Royals today, so I'm assuming he'll probably be batting leadoff here against the righty Jonathan Cannon. So a great spot for him as well. Yeah,
wonders if he finds himself in like a platoon or something when Paul DeYoung comes joins them, and
could be
with Massey there. Some value plays as we kind of work our way down the list here. I know Grande has been in on Jorge Polanco of late. Paxton, $3,600. Jeff McNeil's been really good, $3,300 for him against Festa. And then, Gavin Lux has been as hot as anybody. 464 average, 1,400 OPS. That series against Boston after the All-Star break has kind of woken a monster here.
Yeah, I'm back in on my boy Gavin Lux. Obviously, I've kind of been in on him a lot this season. And for a lot of the season, it has not paid off. But now, all of a sudden, like, that bat has turned around. He's doing great, so I'm willing to stick with it. And, Matt Waldron, obviously that knuckleballer, had a pretty good run earlier in the season, but he's slowed down a lot, has been struggling. So, if I'm going cheap, I'm probably just going back to Gavin Lux.
I agree with you there. No real, let's see, we just got the full trade update there. No major league players. Garrett Forrester, though, going from the Pirates to the Marlins. That's a name we've heard a little bit about. Third base, up at the top. Devers is the cover of today's show. Again, I'm in on Boston sacking against Castillo. We got Royce Lewis at $5,200. Austin Riley versus Joe Ross at $5,100. Feels pretty solid as well. Where was your breakdown at third base today?
Obviously nothing wrong with those top guys. I find myself kind of leaning more towards the middle group. I think I just would rather pay up other places, and I kind of like some of the middle of, Matt Chapman, who's been hitting the ball really well against JP Sears, and also Josh Smith leading off in Texas against Lance Lynn. I really like that play. He's been hitting the ball pretty well, and just love him getting to lead off here against Lynn.
Yeah, and honestly, it's kind of an interesting look here for the Rangers lineup, and I wonder if this is sort of Semien had been their leadoff guy. Now Semien's hitting third, and they're healthy now. So you have Smith as the leadoff guy, Semien, Seager, Semien, Langford, Garcia, Lowe. I said Josh Young's all the way down at their lineup hitting seventh, Jonah Heim and Leodis Tavares. So will be pretty interesting to see what that lineup looks like versus lefties, obviously against righties. If that's the approach that they're going, certainly breaks it up a little bit. So I definitely like him in the leadoff spot. Miranda's hitting cleanup back in their lineup. Now, he's been a guy that hammered righties, not necessarily lefties early on this year, but he's there. Bregman at 43 against Falter, hitting second tonight, looks pretty solid as well. And then I do have interest in Josh Jung here at 4K.
Yeah, he's someone obviously hits lefties better historically, but it's Lance Lynn also. So especially if you're wanting to stack some Rangers in there in his return, Young's a great bat, so this is pretty cheap. We could see him climb up pretty fast with this return from his injury if he keeps hitting the ball like he did last year.
Yeah. Where are you going with some value at third base here today?
I think there's some pretty good third base cheap options too, especially like if you're looking at stacking some of these different teams, like you like the Mariners against Paxton, Dylan Moore batting sixth, or if you're stacking against Patrick Corbin, you can go to Eugenio Suarez. I think is a decent option as well. There's one other, I just lost it. What was I going to say? Oh, we already talked about Justin Turner batting fourth.
Yeah, 3,200. Yep, good call. Shortstop Bobby Witt. It is any other year he might be the MVP, but I think Aaron Judge kind of has that on lock right now. But $6,400 for him. I'm not in on Ellie tonight against a tough lefty. Lefty's not his right split. Now he can go out there, homer, steal 4 bases, and make me look foolish. That's fine too. But I'd rather go with Lindor here at 59 or Bobby Witt at 64, Seager 53. Probably the 3 core guys for me.
Yeah, totally with you. Also, sure, Ellie could be awesome, but I'd rather pay the extra $100 and get Bobby Witt Jr., who's been hitting better, and against Jonathan Cannon, or just save the money and go to Corey Seager against Lance Lynn, who can hit just as good as anybody. I think those are definitely like my big 2 go-tos here at shortstop.
Yep, agreed. If we're looking in the mid tier, what are we piecing up?
I think we've got some pretty good options. I like Willy Adames here against Bryce Elder. Elder's been pitching pretty well, but we love Adames against righties at home. That's just a great core play. So I like him there. I also like Jeremy Pena and Tovar there at the low 4K. Pena's great against lefties, and Tovar's just been fantastic recently.
Yeah, he's been really good. We're in on against Griffin Canning. Cedric Rafael has hit righties better than lefties. He's 4K here. Dylan Moore, a guy that hits lefties for power, can go there. Any value shortstops for you?
If Ahmed Rosario is going to be in the lineup for the Dodgers here, facing Matt Waldron, I think he's obviously pretty good bat here. I don't know kind of how they're going to construct their lineups with all the shakeup, but if he's in there, I like going after him. After that, I don't think there's a whole lot.
Okay. Going on to the outfield then. A lot more exciting plays in here. Looking to spend up tonight. Ohtani, Duran, Ozuna, Alvarez, O'Neill, Rooker, Reynolds. Like, where are you going to?
My top guy here is Ozuna. He just continues to mash. Dude's just crushing homers like crazy. Obviously, facing Joe Ross should be pretty good. Who knows how long he'll make it out there coming back from the IL. But yeah, Braves should be able to produce some runs off of him. And Marcell Ozuna just continues to hammer the ball. So he's my favorite of this top end. But obviously, especially if you're stacking some of these other teams, like Yordan Alvarez is fantastic. And we'll take him in a lefty-lefty matchup. But, those are kind of my go-tos here at the top end. I don't love, paying this much for these bats in Boston against Castillo. But if you want to try for it, I'm not going to fault you for it either.
Yeah, I agree with you. That works for me. Again, it's more so like the identifying the right matchups and the spend ups based on your stacks here for today. If we're going down into the mid-tier 5K and under, I like Byron Buxton hitting second tonight, $4,800 for me. Willing to go into Randy Arozarena at $4,700 there as well. Homered last night. You want to get some Cubs in there. That all works out for me in the mid-range.
Yep, totally. I think, Seiya Suzuki there for the Cubs. Adolis Garcia hasn't been hitting the ball super well, but again, if you're stacking some Rangers, want to add in him there against Lynn. Can't really fault you for that either. I think those are all pretty good options.
Agreed. Our guy Penny asked if Fitzgerald hot streak is going to end. I'm playing Fitzgerald today in some lineups. Like hard to until he totally flames out against Shapey Sears, gives up a lot of home runs. I'm good to go there. And then Don, GPP means guaranteed prize pool tournaments though. Pirates make another deal. IKF traded from Toronto to Pittsburgh. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa on the move there. So we're about 30 minutes away from the deadline. So we got that going on. Envious saying Rooker. Again, I'm in on Robbie Ray, but if you're not, I mean, that guy has been an animal this year at the dish. Wyatt Langford, this man has had some terrible luck. Go look at his StatCat pages lately. He's had a bunch of like 95 plus exit velocity, just line drive outs. Last night, 3 hits. He is getting on base, couple of doubles. He had that white hot start, then went like 2 for 30. Now he's picking it back up. He's hitting cleanup for a really good Rangers lineup. So I'm willing to go a Wyatt Langford here. I like Lourdes against Corbin at $4,100. Kelenic leading off at 41. So some good low K4 plays as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is one of my favorite areas of the outfield. I like all those guys. Obviously, love stacking against Corbin. So Gurriel against him, Kelenic leading off. You also have Jesse Winker here going against David Festa, batting fifth for his new team. I think is an interesting option as well. So yeah, this like right at this 4K tier, I think provides some really good options.
Yep, 100% with you on board with that one. Jackson Merrill against Glasnow. If you think Glasnow's still a bit shaky, you can certainly take a peek at that spot. Under 4K, who are some of your favorite values for today?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind going to some of these teams that I just am stacking for. Go to Hunter Renfroe, who's been hitting the ball a little better against Jonathan Cannon. I really, he can provide huge power. So now he's going to turn the bat around. It seems like a pretty good price for him. I also really like Victor Robles for the Mariners. If you're trying to stack against James Paxton, dude's been fantastic for the Mariners so far. He's looked like a great ad. Batting leadoff has just been hitting the ball well. So I like him in this range also.
Yeah, a guy who's always hit lefties pretty well is also and really coming on for Seattle. A couple others for me in this tier. I like Yoshida. Guy's been on fire for the last month or so. And again, homer yesterday, 4 RBIs. You're not in on Luis Castillo, getting a Red Sox stack tonight. Feeling pretty good with him and Weiler and that whole crew in that Red Sox lineup. I also like Jackson Chourio. Another guy really on fire, 366,000 OPS. We know he's got speed. We know he's got power. Again, he came into the year as like the youngest player in baseball. It took him a little bit to figure it out, but now he's coming on. Gets a pitch to contact guy in Bryce Elder, who's kind of a 4A pitcher. So I'm feeling like some good spots here for Jackson Chourio as well. Any like deep down values for you today? Any one-off dart throws you're looking at?
I think some of the like lower 3K range, you could, if you like Eddie Rosario's in the lineup in a decent matchup. Jake Cave, if he's in the lineup against the righty. MJ Melendez provides some power again. If
MJ Melendez homered last night, so I don't mind that.
If he turns things around, this is a guy that was a 4 to mid 4K hitter for some season, is just plummeted in price because he's been terrible, but he could turn things around quickly. So those are good calls. I like that. I like the Melendez shout. I'd also just throw Pete Crow Armstrong out there. Again, didn't really get much done yet last night. The 0 for 3. I know the numbers overall don't look great. He did have 3 hits a couple of games prior. A lot of speed on this guy. So if he does get on base, like he has the potential to steal a bag or two. So, you want to go really deep down here. There is Pete Crow Armstrong for me. All right, let's get a lineup build going. Where are you starting off pitching? Man, I mean, you can argue with me one, but I love throwing Ryan Nelson in here. 6,300, just doing the cheap play. I don't normally like these super cheap plays as much as I do. So when you can spend up in the offense, I like starting there.
All right, got Ryan Nelson then. Are we going Hunter Brown, Robbie Ray, or what's your next option?
Robbie Ray is my favorite. I think of if I have to pay up. I like Hunter Brown too, but I think Robbie Ray can keep up the magic here against Oakland.
Perfectly fine. We're gonna have a whole lot of money to spend here on hitting. You said your favorite catcher today was Gabe Moreno. Got him at $3,400, locking him in. What's your number one hitter overall today?
Ketel Marte. Yeah, it's gotta be Marte. It's between him and Bobby Witt Jr., but I'm gonna lean Marte going.
We might be able to get them both. I'm gonna plug Lourdes in to go with Marte.
Yeah,
I think that fits well.
So a little Diamondback stack going.
Yeah, we got 4,500 to fill out the position, so we definitely probably can get Witt here. If we do Witt, 4K a play. I mean, there's plenty of space around here. I like Yoshida. Let's go Yoshida 37.
Sure.
Pascantino.
Might as well stack him with Bobby.
Right now we got 3,850 for a third baseman and another outfielder. Do we do Melendez? Do we just like straight up stack some Royals here?
Sure. Yeah, I like it. I love the Royals in this spot.
And then gives us 48 and do a one-off like
either Smith or Chapman. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Example lineup for everybody here. Ryan Nelson, Robbie Ray, Gabe Moreno, Vinny Pascantino, Ketel Marte, Josh Smith, Bobby Witt Jr., Lourdes Gurriel, Masataka Yoshida, and MJ Melendez. $300 left over. We're looking to stack some Diamondbacks here, a couple of one-off plays, like in Kansas City as well. If you guys aren't already a member of the Fantasy Star family, QR code is right there on the screen. FantasyStar.com/win. Promo code Let's Go. Get that first month for less than $20. Get you access to everything on site, including our fantasy football draft guide and fantasy football cheat sheet. Comes with your All-Pro package. So for $20, you can get those two things included individually. The draft guide's like $28. The cheat sheet's $24. For $20, you can get everything. So why not sign up at least for the first month? Get it for $19.98. FantasyStorm.com/win. Promo code Let's Go. 30 minutes left till the end of the trade deadline here. So good luck with everybody at their lineups. Make sure you pay attention to roster lock in case someone gets scratched. Until then, everybody, we'll see you.